Can we talk about this water real quick? So my business partner is always looking for special water that's not in a plastic cup, and this fucking guy bought these 1 liter carton flow water things. So yeah, good. Thanks, guys. How much was this, by the way? $3 each? No wonder we can't freaking pay ourselves. Jesus Christ. Anyways, welcome. I'm excited to be here with you today. Back-to-back trading streams. We are still in our Bitcoin short, which is currently underwater, but I believe that it'll turn. We'll get one more dump down. We're targeting 110.7 for our initial TP, which is our green line here. Almost tapped that, almost, but we have TP level set, so we're staying disciplined. I do want to share this. This chart here, something is soaking up a lot of liquidity. In other news, global M2 just went absolutely vertical, and Bitcoin's fair price is, well, $250,000. You can see here in the green is your money supply, your liquidity, your M2. And in the red is your Bitcoin price. And you can see going all the way back, and this goes further back, but historically, Bitcoin has lagged but traded well within the global M2. So the question you got to ask yourself, my friends, is, did that trend just break as of June of this year? Or are we going to see a convergence? We've seen a divergence. Are we going to converge back to Bitcoin moving in lockstep with the global M2 money supply, the liquidity? I think the answer is yes, it will. We'll see that convergence, and when it happens, it'll happen rapidly. I just think there's a little more downside left. And so, very interesting. The other interesting thing I saw, this is from CoinGlass. These are the super charts. And I want you to take a look, and let's actually get rid of that. On the top here, you have your price action. On the bottom, you have your funding rates, okay? So this is Ethereum. I want you to take a peek at each time funding rates went negative. And let me actually, let's fix this. Let's go red. Let's also make this as thick as possible, okay? Funding rates, local bottom, Ethereum rallies. Funding rates go negative. Local bottom, Ethereum rallies. And well, look what funding rates just did. Funding rates didn't just go negative, but they went the most negative they've been in a very long time. Is this a local bottom? And what you're seeing on the chart here is a potential bottom signaling candle, which is your hammer at the end of a downtrend. So, local bottom in, potentially, we can move our way through Solana. Let's check this thesis against Solana. Funding rates go negative, local bottom, price rises. This one, not so much, but this one. And then we can go back here. Funding rates go negative, local bottom, Solana rallies. And these rallies were 40%, 32%. XRP hasn't had negative funding rates in a very long time. Doge just went negative on the funding rate. Same thing. Local bottom. Funding rates just flipped negative. So, are we seeing metrics and statistics that tell us local bottoms are in for a majority of altcoins? Potentially, we'll talk through them in the charts. The other thing I wanted to look at was the RSI heat map, which I have right here, is on the 24 hours. So this is a great way to kind of get a broad view of what's oversold and overbought. Bottom is oversold, top is overbought. You see certain projects like AVAX currently sitting at overbought on the 24-hour and the 1 week and the 12-hour. So expect a reversion back to the mean. Let's actually take a peek at an AVAX chart. You guys know I'm a very big AVAX bull. Let's check the weekly here. Massive run weekly. Let's throw on the Heikin-Ashi candles. Strong uptrend for AVAX. Volume was increasing. We are entering, as you can see here, this big volume node here. You can see twice we came in on a wick and price got rejected. Now we are currently still printing the green candles, which is good. Let's zoom into the daily. You see daily that uptrend has broken. Let's get rid of these brush strokes here. Right, once you start seeing lower wicks on these candles, the trend is either slowing down or the trend is over. And in this case, you can see the trend has slowed down. We want to see these type of candles when you're looking at Heiken Ashi. Big bodies, no candles, no wicks to the downside. Big bodies, and the trend continues. And you ride it. Once you see this, trend is pausing or coming to an end, and then you see that trend continue. And so, at least on the daily, once we see those lower wicks go bye-bye, we can, I think, comfortably say, hey, the rally to the upside will continue. $34.58 or $34 even is where AVAX is at now. In fact, I do believe we have an open order on AVAX at $29.60, which we identified. And again, get rid of some of these brush strokes, which I believe, if I'm correct, that was our 50% fib level, drawn from our low here at around $22.61 to our high of $36.18. And so you guys know I pull my fibs and I like to target the 50. If the 50 fails, I target the gold pocket. Gold pocket is $27.45 to $27.88. I don't think we're going to get there. I think the momentum is with AVAX. There's a lot happening. Off the grid game is doing what it does. It's not really like exploding by any means. But you're getting the RWA narrative start to heat up. Partnerships are starting to heat up. I did have I think it was right here. And so this was posted by AVAX. Just some of the people they're working with, guys, okay? BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, Fidelity, Citi, MasterCard, Visa, Van Eck, T. Rowe Price, Wisdom Tree. And so AVAX season, I believe, is here. It's going to continue to rally. If you're part of our Patreon, you guys know there's 3 projects I highlighted in that Patreon post on the AVAX network that I believe has a lot of potential. High risk versus high risk to high reward. So, yeah. But AVAX, again, I am hunting for a long there, but I want that pullback back down to sub $30. Will we get it? I don't know. Maybe AVAX just runs. Right? Maybe it just runs. And let's zoom out to the weekly. Let's identify some higher targets. So $36, key level, consolidation here until ultimately we fell. And then after that, really? I mean, there's not a lot of volume. There's a big volume gap until you get to that $53 level, which was I believe our current cycle high was 65. Was our local high from around the 24th of December, or the 9th of December in 2024. You have a W pattern here on the weekly, which is playing out right in front of our eyes. We saw this across the board with a lot of different alts. A little bit of a pullback back down to the high volume point here, 21.93, and then it was off to the races. AVAX has rallied 54% since then. So AVAX is one. If you've been holding it, you're probably reaping the rewards, and you'll continue to reap the rewards. Let's go back to BTC. Right? Daily. This one is a daily bullish engulfing pattern as of now. But this could also be coming into, I want to warn people, this could be coming into a little bit of a bear flag pattern, which if it does, our measured move, break to the downside, depending on where it breaks. Let's take the lower end of that. We'll target 108.37, which we've had this level here, which we saw consolidation here back in August, end of August. And then eventually Bitcoin launched. So this could be a double bottom scenario. And at that point, depending on market conditions, I'll be looking along. Right now, I'm in a short. Let's check in on our short position. In the red, 11%, 12% to be exact. I'm not closing it though. I have my stop loss set at 114.6, 114.650 to be exact. In fact, let's go ahead and let's just verify that real quick. We'll draw fibs the other way, yeah, and that's a level I was targeting, 114.6. If we break above that, bear flag invalidated, potentially momentum to the upside. That trade will continue. And so, yeah, BTC, wait and see. Let's check in on a market cipher B. A lot of rhyming there. Not on purpose, I promise. Okay, looks like we're getting a little bit of a sharp V-shaped recovery on our momentum indicators here. Can we break this overbought level 1? Can we break that and move on the way up? We see the last time we broke that OB1 line. So it's here. Let's check in on price action. And, well, this is when Bitcoin, well, look at that, rallied to its all-time high. From 112.7 up to 124 all-time high, rallied 10%. So I want to see that happen on the daily time frame. If we get stopped out before we hit our OB1 level, then I'm looking, then my short, I think, is going to print. If we break above, then I will reevaluate. But at that point, I think my stop loss would hit and we'll be out of that trade. We'll take the L and we'll look for the next one. Let's zoom into the hour time frame. Red dot on the 1 hour. This could be a potential setup for an anchor trigger wave short. If it holds, here's your anchor wave, red dot. Next thing you want to see is price come, not break below, a much smaller momentum wave with a red dot. This would become our trigger wave, and that is an entry for a short to the downside. So this is on the 1 hour. Again, I don't recommend front running these indicators because they're dynamic, so they change. If this holds, we're looking for that trigger wave, and then we're going to enter into another short. Volume increasing on this move up, which is good. Also on the pullback, volume increasing. So overall, increasing volume. Let's go to the 30-minute. Right. W breakout. And you see these are the W patterns, right? You see the double bottom, you see a move up, we clear the high, and then we come into a flag, and then we see that breakout. We've seen it here. We saw it on the weekly on some of the other altcoins. But look out for those W and for those M patterns. M patterns, right? You essentially see this double top. Fail to make a higher high usually. We try to attempt a breakout, but then it turns into a bear flag, and then, well, you see that break to the downside. Arpad Sigeli said, what would be your plan with Aster? I don't have any Aster. I don't plan on buying any Aster. I think it's overvalued. Well, okay, I don't want to say overvalued, but it's overheated for sure. And I don't like jumping on projects that are up 700% in 90 days. So yeah, I just, if you're not in already, I think it's too late. I could be wrong. I was wrong when it came to Hyperliquid, so I could very well be wrong here. Me personally, though, it's not in my portfolio, and I don't plan on it being in my portfolio. I want to throw on market side for A, seeing if we're seeing any signs of a potential reversal on the lower time frames. Baby Blood Diamond on the 30-minute, 1 hour. Baby Blood Diamond on the 1 hour, 15-minute. Uptrend is still strong on the 15-minute. We're putting in higher lows, which is good. All right, these are higher low, higher low, higher low. Looks like this is a higher low. This 30-minute or 15-minute though, this might be our break. If we come back, if we come down, also obviously putting in higher highs as well. But if we come down and we start to retest the lower end of this band, now you're talking about putting in a lower low, hitting this large volume node at 113 even. And then at that point, if you close below 112.8, that bull trend has reversed, and we should see downside 110.7, and then ultimately on the higher time frames 108, I think it was 108.376 is what we're targeting for BTC. Let's take a look at market side for B. Money flow expanding to on the 15-minute, which is good. All right, you see this highs, putting in higher highs, putting in a higher high here as well. VWAP still trading below zero line though. We want that crossover above our zero line to the upside on the VWAP. Tell us momentum is there. It looks like our indicators on the momentum, the RSI and stochastics, those have kind of leveled off. Now what you want to see in terms of a continued rally to the upside. And then last one I want to check on BTC is a 4 hour. Let's clean up the chart here a little bit. What I'm interested in looking at the 4 hour too. Rejection in our gold pocket, taking this high of 115.6 down to 111 even. You see, we're getting rejected twice now. We got rejected our gold pocket on the way up. And so assume short term, we potentially could see a bounce at 113.36. If we don't, then we're probably coming in and retesting these lows at 111.8. And that's actually where my money is. That's what I'm betting on. So that's BTC. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles. Flare, let's want to take a look at Flare. Flare up 15%. There was news, XRP, DeFi, providing liquidity. This is other XRP news. So I don't want to say Flare runs with XRP, but it definitely is interconnected into its ecosystem. Let's check a Flare chart, see if there's any potential opportunities there. You see this big rally. Let's go to the daily. Massive candle with volume behind it. Green dot. Overbought on the momentum indicators. And looks like money flow is starting to expand. We were about to get a bearish crossover, but we subverted that. And so let's take a peek. Let's throw on some Heikin-Ashi. So for Flare, what I want to see is another candle like this. Maybe not as big of a body, but to really solidify a big potential uptrend here for Flare Network. You see it on the weekly. If this candle closes, that is confirmed. Two Heikin-Ashi candles, no wicks to the downside. That is usually, if you're trading Heikin-Ashi, that is usually your entry. Okay, that is usually your entry. And so that's what we're looking for. But again, this weekly candle, we still have around 4 days, 6 hours before it closes. Let's get rid of Market Cipher. This is like all over the place. I want to take a look at some liquidity points here. I mean, we blew through three. I mean, when you combine these high volume liquidity points, you're talking about 1 billion Flare tokens that were previously sold at almost the same levels, right? You have 2.5 cents and then essentially a double top here, and then we just blew right through. So there's a gap there. I'm assuming there's a fair value gap there that needs to be filled. Yes. Right? Anytime you smash through massive liquidity points, and we had this big change of character here on this, I'm using Lux Algo price action concept. Expect this gap to be filled though. It's a 4-hour. And I'll drop some flags here. 2.6, so 2.5 to 2.6 cents. Expect a pullback there. I'd be targeting the midline. Our previous week high sits right above 2.5 cents at 2.538. And then again, if we just draw our fib, confluence there, 50% fib level on the retracement, plus our fair value gap. And so Flare looks strong. So for me, in fact, I am going to go ahead and put in a limit long order on Flare. We're going to go ISO. We're going to go 15. We're going to go limit, and we're going to enter at, not this one, leave. Go here. We're going to enter at 2612, 0.2612. 50. Okay. So we have 2 limit orders in now. We have an AVAX limit long at $29.60. And we have a flare limit long 15X at 2.612 cents. We expect to get a bounce just like we did on this this massive spinning top candle here. And so the bids should come in. And again, this is on the 4-hour time frame. Money flow is expanding, right? Start seeing this thing roll over and then start to rise back up again. Money flow start to U-turn, rise back up again, and it looks like the VWAP is starting to get that inwardly curved. Hopefully see some momentum back to the upside. But again, not entering now, waiting for the, really trying to stay patient here, waiting for that 2612 level. Arpod said, why do you use Heikin-Ashi candles and not normal ones? I like to switch it up from now and then. Heikin-Ashi is another really clean way of knowing if this thing is really in a trend or if it's really sideways. Again, the way I use them is if you're identifying an uptrend, you don't want to see wicks to the downside. If you're identifying a downtrend, you don't want to see wicks to the upside. And a lot of people use Heikin-Ashi as enter and exit signals, right? Entry and exit. So usually the second candle, if we don't see any, right? Like example here. First Heikin-Ashi candle with no wick to the downside. Second one confirms it. We enter in on the third one. And we enjoy a 15 to 18% rally. So it's all about what you prefer. I don't use them all the time. I use the traditional candles mostly, but I do like to go into Heikin-Ashi from time to time. Sometimes I use them for trade entries. Sometimes I just use them to verify trends. And importantly, strength of the trends. Let's look at the 1 hour. $30 minute. Oh, 30 minutes turning, 21. Ooh. $15-minute looks really good. 15-minute money flow growing. VWAP just crossed over, and this is another trigger wave. Let's take a peek at what price did on this last mini trigger wave. The last mini trigger wave, guys, price went up 13%, and we're getting that right now. How much time is left in this candle? This might be 3 minutes. Let's see if this holds. If this trigger wave holds, I might just enter into a long now and try to scalp maybe a 25% trade. See if we can retest this high here where we have that liquidity grab around 2.87 cents. Maybe we don't wait on the higher time frame. 15-minute tells us this thing's probably going to run again. We'll see. We're going to visit this in 4 minutes, in 2.5 minutes. In fact, maybe I'll stay on this. I want to take a peek at the chat real quick. We got 82 people watching, 26 likes. Make sure to hit the like button. Also, if you're not subbed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Raphael, what's going on? Crypto Stevo, nice to see you in the stream again, my friend. And all the mods, thank you for being here. Tradefly, what's going on, brother? How you doing? I think you sent me a message on Telegram. I'll make sure to reply to you after the fact. Tradefly said, try Bitcoin on the weekly with Heikin-Ashi. I like that. Let's actually take a peek at that. Bitcoin weekly Heikin-Ashi. Bitcoin weekly Heikin-Ashi. Okay, so he said back tested, right? So here you go. Weekly. And obviously, you got to wait longer. Number 1. Number 2. You enter on the third candle, 28% move to the upside. You look at it on the short side, right? It works both ways. Candle 1, candle 2, enter on the second one, and this is a 5.5% move multiplied by your leverage. So Heikinashi on the weekly, no clear trend. We had an opportunity for one here, but obviously that went the opposite way. And so yeah, I mean, you can work the higher time frames. You're just gonna have to be a lot more patient. It's gonna have to be a lot more patient. Okay, let's go back to I think that flare chart probably. Flare 15. 50 seconds. Hopefully this green dot holds. I'm curious on the 10-minute. Three-minute looks good too. 1 minute looks good too. I think I'm gonna get into a scalp here. Green dot held. Okay, let's just go ahead. Let's cancel this. And I'm gonna do higher leverage on this one. I'd caution people to be careful. We're gonna go market here. We're gonna go 200, enter into a long. Okay. All right, so we're in a long on flare. 15 minute looks good. Market size for B. Green dot on a mini trigger wave. Lower time frames. 3 and the 1 minute look good. Trend is intact. As you can see here, we entered in on that third candle. This is Heikinashi, right? 2 candles, no wicks to the downside. You're entering on the third one. And we're targeting 2.845 cents. So let's go in here. Did that order not fill? Flare 20. Market 2. Interesting. Okay, you know what? It's not letting me put in a larger order. Let's go to weeks. Sorry about DeFi. We'll go to weeks. Hopefully weeks lets me do it. Weeks, flare. This one, we'll keep it on 20. We'll go isolated, combined, market, cost. The same on this one, open long. Max order of 50,000 flare? What? Okay, fine. Give me 15. Cross market, open long. Oh, same shit. Wow, how shitty is this? Yay, we're in. Okay. So TP I'm setting at 2849. Let's go in here. Okay, nice little 53% gain. Okay, so we have that trade in flare again. Lower time frames look good. 15 minute gave us that entry on that second confirmed Heikinashi candle. 5 minutes been running, 3 minutes been running, 1 minute's been running, and then on the 15 minute again, we did get our entry signal on market cipher B. So we'll see how that trade plays out. Also, if there's anything you guys want me to take a look at, please let me know. Looks good on the daily. Yeah, looks good on the daily too. Flare, let's take a look at flare on the daily. Daily, if you're going off of Heikinashi, you wait for tomorrow's candle to close. But yeah. You gotta drink Prime. Hydration's pretty good. Prime, if you're watching, we'll take a sponsor, please. Drinks are good. We're drinking. Okay, let's take a peek at So we looked at Flare. Let's look at Aster. I'm telling you guys. I am fucking telling. Draw your fibs and enter longs on a coin that's moving up when it hits the 50, bro. Like every single time. I mean, 85%. So let's do the same. Let's do the same for this recent move. Assuming the move stopped, right? Assuming the move has topped, which it hasn't. As of right now, if we see a pullback, $1.86.34. $1.86.34 if we start seeing a pullback here on Aster on the 4 hour. Let's see if we're already seeing a pullback on the 1 hour. So you see, for the person asking about Heikinashi, this would not be a confirm because the first candle has a wick to the upside. So in this case, if this candle closes the way it is, this would be fine. We want another one that looks exactly like that, which I don't know if we're going to get because Aster has been absolutely crushing it. But 1 hour, we have a pullback. So let's draw our fib. $2.17. Oh, and wouldn't you know it? On this very pullback, we tapped that twice on a wick. KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm referring to myself, of course. We just tend, and when I say we, I include myself, we tend to complicate things sometimes so much when it's just like, the answer is just in front of you, right? Take the move. When you see the pullback, draw your fib and identify the 50 and then put in a limit long. If you're uncomfortable with the limit long, put in an alert at that price. And then wait and make money. Flare is up 5%. Our Flare trade is currently up 5%. Shout out to Weeks. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description. Go ahead and create an account. Talking to these guys about maybe doing a competition, doing a big giveaway for our community. So if we end up doing that, you'll need an account. So Aster, $2.17 on the lower time frame. Higher time frame, we're targeting $2. No, the higher time frame was the daily. Higher time frame was. Am I smoking here? Oh no, higher time frame we don't know yet because we haven't seen a pullback at the higher time frame. Can you look at move? Took a long at 11.12 cents. Yeah, let's look at move. Ugh. This is an ugly chart. Let's get out of Heikinashi. I mean, does it get much lower than this? Probably not. I mean, if you got in at 11.7, that's a great spot. If you believe in the project and you're long in it, because last time we got down here, move rallied 70%. More recently was here, move rallied 26%. But I will say, this move, obviously, the massive spike in volume. The more recent one, we saw a little bit of spike in volume. And so, I don't know, we're not really seeing that now. Looks like our momentum indicators are starting to reverse back to the upside on the daily, which is good. Money flow is still deep in the red. And depending on where this candle closes, so NW, if you have market cipher B, I would be keeping my eye out on this momentum wave, seeing where this thing comes in, and can we get a green dot inside that momentum wave? VWAP and money flow are both deeply in the red. I'll just caution that. And then, but again, if you're going to be in a long, the only thing I'll caution is keep your eye out on a potential bear flag pattern, right? You want to clear at 12.5 cents to invalidate a potential bear flag pattern. So keep your eyes on that. But yeah, I mean, move. Let's look at the lower time frame. See if we're seeing anything on the lower time frames. It's pretty ugly, but you can call this a bull pennant. Excuse me, a bear pennant. If not, you can call this a rising channel, which should break to the downside. And that move would be, let's measure the width here. 11.28 cents. So I don't know where your liquidation's at. But yeah. I would, if it breaks down, expect it to go down to like 11.28, 11.3. If your liquidation or your stop loss is below that, you're fine. Again, high time frame showed us that we got those nice bounces. Pay attention to volume, though. Pay attention to volume. But I would be careful. I mean, this chart, especially on the high time frames, it's just not sustaining any of its rallies to the upside. So yeah, that's move. I already gave my thoughts on Aster. Okay, so I said, look, stop loss at 1107. That's not bad, bro. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Your R&R is really good, especially historically when you look at what the price did once it hit those levels that you entered in. So, not saying it's a bad trade. I would just say you got your stop loss perfect. It's below that. It's below that level we kind of identified. 11.28. You had 11.07. I think you're good, dude. Should make money unless the markets completely take a shit and then it takes everything down with it, which I'm assuming move would also go down with it. So that's just the only thing I'll say keep in mind. But you got tons of volume coming in here. So if we do get a breakdown, you have this large volume node here, right? That's between 11.58 and 11.75. Should soak up some of that liquidity. Let's throw on our high volume points. 11.12, is that where you're at? Oh, you're at 11.17. Last time price got down 11.12, around 80 million of these tokens were bought. So if you take a look at the size, massive volume point, massive liquidity point, and to the upside as well. I don't know if you have your TP level set, my friend, but I would set them before you hit this high volume point to the upside. In fact, you have three right next to each other. 90 million, 83 million, 26 million, all between 13.6 and 14.1 cents. So just make sure you have your TP level set below that, below those levels, and it should be a really good trade for you, my friend. Okay, there was someone else asked for, cake. Cake is an interesting one. Cake, and there was something else. There was, okay, let's take a look at cake. Pancake swap. BNB ecosystem play. You want to talk about, hey, I want BNB ecosystem, but I don't want to take too much risk. I think cake is a perfect play. And who doesn't love cake? You know, I love cake. The greatest cake. American cake. Sorry. Always that one little wick that messes it up, you know? Jim said, I put in a long for 1.5 Bitcoin. 30K, am I going to be okay? I hope you're going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, this would have been pretty solid, but that little wick kind of ruined it. If you want to stay disciplined on trading Heikinashi, it wouldn't be a thing. Okay, so this is Pancake Swap. Looks like 12 hours giving us a bear flag, which has not been invalidated, right? We measured that 50. And that measured break to the downside would be down to around $2.32. Now, Pancake Swap, it got as high as, I think, like $60. If we continue to zoom out, let's get rid of our volume. Right, $44. And Pancake Swap has been struggling. You know, it's interesting. We've seen BNB. Is there a cake versus? Yeah, there is. Let's look at Pancake Swap performance against BNB. I mean, usually, you'll get a better return on ecosystem plays, you know, as the main token rallies. But if you've been in cake over BNB, let's start, I mean, I don't know, December of 23, you're down 80% against BNB. And so what does that tell you? That tells you you should have been holding BNB over cake. Now, I don't think cake is dead. It's still the leading DEX. In fact, if we go to DeFi Llama, let's throw up Binance Smart Chain. It is the #1 protocol, 2.2 billion in TVL, which is a market dominance of around 30%, something like that. 28, 30, 35%, something like that. And they're yeah, I mean, the revenue is 670, the highest revenue. You look at fees, highest fees, 2 million. So it's where it's at. It's just hasn't been performing well relative to BNB and just against the US dollar as well. Let's go back to the dollar chart. Also, you have this kind of symmetrical triangle here. Starting to get, that range is starting to get tighter, and we keep bumping up into the top end here. We can actually adjust this a little more like this. Technically, it's rising, so it should break. See if we can find any, excuse me. See if we can find any other. I guess this one was kind of similar, right? So kind of a similar setup. This was back in July of last year, and Pancake Swap broke to the upside. Didn't even get a retest, but it rallied 117%, and that lasted 127 days. Currently, and we won't even take, we'll just take the bottom here. Currently, we got 233 days. So you can call this consolidation. The range is tightening, as you can see. We're getting kind of to the end of it. And so last time it broke to the upside, will it break to the upside again? I think yes. And I think a lot of that has to do with where we are in the market cycle. So, but from a fundamental standpoint, I think Pancake Swap is a great hold if you believe in the BNB ecosystem. Looks like the daily is turning, at least on the momentum indicators. Money flow trending down, but we want to see that start to get a nice little U-shaped recovery or even a V-shaped recovery, right? And just kind of flip back to the upside. Let's go to the weekly, see if we see anything on the weekly. Interesting, weekly RSI is completely oversold excuse me, overbought. 75. Huh. Interesting divergence there. Let's get rid of some of this shit right here. So, last time RSI got this oversold was here. March of last year. Okay? So let's look at March of last year. This thing had rallied 325% on its way up, okay? So from October of 23 through March, this one we can measure, right, from where the RSI started to turn up and rally. It was around June of this year, and the price has rallied. It only, I mean, I say only 70%, but relative to what we saw back in 2023/2024, it's about a fourth or a fifth of the rally we saw back then. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. You know what? Let me get my RSI up here. And again, guys, it's on the higher time frame. No divergence. I was looking for a potential, maybe some hidden bearish divergence, but don't really see any there. To me, like trade wise, I would be careful trading Pancake Swap with leverage. I'd much rather hold it spot because I do believe in the BNB ecosystem and just BNB in general. So yeah, I mean, sorry I couldn't give you more info there from a chart standpoint, but I like BNB fundamentally, use case, utility, the ecosystem it lives in. And so yeah, I think I'm done. I did 3 videos today, and I'm about to do another one. So I'm talking a lot today. Talking a lot. Hope you guys enjoy the content. Thank you all very much. Make sure to come check out. I won't be streaming tomorrow for the trading show. I will be streaming Friday as of now, tentatively. So come join me then. Okay, the last thing I'll mention, Hemi. The circles I'm in, these are people who have a lot more connections than I do. They're not fans of Hemi. They are saying there's some shady shit going on there. I'm not going to put that opinion on me because I have not done the research, but these are people I trust. And I'm not saying I'm blindly going to listen to them. I don't have any Hemi, but I've seen some negative stuff and apparently there's some shady shit going on. I haven't confirmed it myself personally, so I'm not going to say that's what I believe, but it's not something that I have any position on. So, I mean, I don't know. No, we didn't enjoy it. Oh, is it because, what did I have on? Oh, I had HBAR and Kaspa. Okay, that's fair. I had HBAR and Kaspa on the thumbnail, and I didn't go over it. So if you're still here, I'll continue streaming, and I'll go over HBAR and Kaspa. I definitely don't want to be someone known as just clickbaiting people into bullshit. So let's take a look at HBAR, which, by the way, if you're an HBAR fan, and also thank you for pointing that out, Music. If you're an HBAR fan, I got an HBAR video coming out in 8 minutes. I did do some TA on that one, but let's take a look at HBAR on the weekly. Again, like I feel like a broken record. I feel like I just got to stop talking about it, but I won't. That 50% fib level, 21.5 cents on Hedera. If we sniff 21.5 cents, I will absolutely. In fact, I think I have a limit long. I don't. I have it on AVAX. You know what? Let's go ahead and put in a limit long on HBAR. 21.54. Okay, our limit long order is set for Hedera, and we're targeting that 50% Fibonacci retracement level. We were starting to get a little bit of a breakout. Let me go ahead and get rid of these brush strokes here. We kind of broke out, but we're right back into this kind of bull flag pattern, and I've talked about this numerous times on our HBAR uploads, but that targeted move would be around 40 cents for Hedera. Hedera looks great, man. Honestly, I believe Hedera looks great. If we take a look at market cipher B, we did get a red dot on the weekly time frame, but this could very well go away because, well, the week is not up yet. You're seeing the momentum indicators start to reverse back to the upside. I do want to see this OB1 level or this OB1 line break. When we're living above that, we really see some nice price action on HBAR. We could throw on market cipher A. Daily tells us there might be potentially a little bit of a bear flag forming here on Hedera, as you can see here. But we had another, there was another point in time where we saw a potential bear flag pattern twice, I believe, where Hedera's price action to the upside ended up essentially canceling out that bear flag. So we can see the same thing. Remember, this is all about probabilities. Doesn't mean if you're seeing a certain pattern start to play out that it's going to 100% break the way people expect it to, or that from a probability standpoint it should break. The one thing I will note, and we saw this on multiple other ones, is this M failing to create that high, coming in, retail's failing another high, and then that push to the downside, and you can see a more clear bear flag. Well, not clear because this chart is all over the place, but a more clear bear flag on the 4 hour. So I do expect that 21.5 level to hit again. And then guess what? We have our long order in. So right now, I'm not shorting, I'm not longing. I'm waiting for 21.5 cents. I'm looking to long there. If we lose 21.5 cents, we're probably going sub 20. And then I'll talk about some of those targets in the Hedera video. So music, looks like you're an HBAR fan. If you are, the HBAR video is coming out in about 4 minutes. Okay, and then let's take a look at Kaspa. We talked about Kaspa on the morning show, whether it's a dead project or not. I seem to be a little more bullish on Kaspa than Rob is. But let's take a peek here. You know what? Let's freshen up the chart. Some of these drawings. Let's start on the weekly. Let's throw on Heikinashi. I mean, this is a fairly tight range for Kaspa, and it's coming to an end. And in fact, unfortunately, some look at this as a potential bear pennant. I would isolate it, and I would just call this a symmetrical triangle. Which way will it break? No one knows. Right now, trend is it's probably going to break to the downside. If it does, you're looking at, I mean, the measured move would be 3 cents, 3.9 cents. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if you like measured moves, that would be it. Let's look at the daily. Daily also looks bearish, potential double bottom here on Kaspa, but again, right? Excuse me. You have this M, double top, fail to make a high. Expect a rally, but expect that rally to fall short of 8.5 cents. Then, so Kaspa, we're looking to short. Strictly from a chart standpoint, I'm looking to short Kaspa. I want to see that relief rally back up. Similar setup to what we saw with, what was it? Was another one we just went over. But yeah, I mean, the Kaspa chart looks fucking ugly, man. I'm sorry. I'm a Kaspa holder. I like Kaspa. It's just a very it's not a good looking chart. You see the 12-hour 12 hours already broken and it's getting rejected. So yeah, Hedera long, AVAX long, Aster pullback long, Kaspa rally short. It is what it is, dude. And I would be targeting this low here. Not anything that I want to put in a limit, but I'm targeting 8.27 cents for a short. I don't think we're going to clear 8.8. Definitely don't think we're going to clear 9. And then I'm looking to short this thing. Maybe this thing just is getting rejected now and it falls. I don't know, but this to me is a very clear M pattern. And if we look how M patterns typically play out, you get one more relief rally. You fail to take out the last high, and then it's a dump. So, yeah. All right. I'm signing off. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Mucho te querisi.